Hey guys, I'm Kabir, and today on the show we've got one of India's remix legends, DJ Suketu. He's the genius behind bangers like Bin Tere Sanam, Wo Lamhe and Pyar Zindagi Hai, tracks that defined an entire era of Indian pop and Bollywood remixes. Trained by the world champ DJ Cutmaster Swift, he's worked with international and global names like Flo Rida. He also runs the Music Inc., Mumbai's top DJ and music production school. As a 17-year-old DJ myself, I'm pumped to talk about his journey, remix culture and the future of music in the age of AI. Let's dive in. So for my first question, over the years, EDM has branched into numerous subgenres. You have dubstep, you have Afro house, you have techno.
Yes.
How have you adapted your style to incorporate these evolving sounds? And which genres resonate most with you when crafting a set or a mix?
So yeah, you are right that EDM has taken up a big place in our Indian DJing industry right now, especially after Sunburn and Supersonic and everything like that, and of course so many artists coming. So the younger generation is very much influenced by the international sound. I think I keep myself a little bit updated because streaming sites like apps like Spotify, Apple Music and everything keep throwing good recommendations to you. They keep telling you about the new trends which are happening, what are the new songs which are releasing, the new genres which are coming out, and I think I keep listening to that and then trying to see that if I can incorporate those sounds into my remixes or into my music. And another thing which I do, and I feel I would never stop doing it, is I've never stopped learning. So even till date, if a new genre is out, instead of just straight jumping into buying a sound pack or a sample pack with that sound, or making a mix of it, what I do is I try to go onto YouTube or other sites and I try to maybe even take a short course online if I can to know a little bit more about that genre. So when I'm producing something in that genre, it sounds right and it sounds proper. Not just that, like, okay, fine, today Kahani came and Polytech has become a big thing, so I start making Bollywood techno mixes. I think before I was one of the late entrants into Bollywood tech because I spent a little bit of time, a couple of months actually just studying the music a little bit to know what goes into making it. And then after that I started making my mixes and started, doing shows with Polytech.
Who do you think is the pioneer of the Polytech space currently?
I think Kahani is definitely the one who actually got it into the forefront, into the picture.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was really good. But I think in India right now, I think most of the DJs have adapted to it and are playing it. So very difficult to say actually who's the pioneer in it. But yeah, I think I'm loving the fact that the younger DJs also are producing some fantastic mixes and some fantastic music. So that's a good thing.
All right. Okay. So my next question would be, being trained by DJ Cutmaster Swift, a DMC world champion, must have been transformative. So what are the key lessons from that experience for you?
So I think the one thing that he told me, which I can never forget, and I keep telling my students as well in the Music Inc. or anywhere, even if I meet aspiring DJs somewhere, saying that what makes you, good, or what makes you really get there, and I say practice. And that's what Cutmaster Swift told me. It wasn't about learning every single scratch there is to learn, but it is learning maybe one or two scratches and perfecting them. So I mean, I'm telling, I probably don't know how to do the prime scratch or things like that, or maybe some new scratches which have even come out. But if you tell me to do the transformer, the flare, the crab, I know them absolutely perfectly well, because the thing is that those were the three things that he just made me do. I was there for 7 days. We were doing a crash course because I was going to London. I know that it was expensive to pay for my stay and everything like that. So I requested him that I'll pay your fees and everything and I'll do whatever is necessary, but I need a crash course. So he actually authored a course for me.
Oh, wow.
Which was 7 hours a day and for 6 days, just to learn whatever he could teach me in that much time. So that was the thing. I think practice is something which is very important, and a lot of people take it for granted and don't. I think the more you practice, the better you get. I still till date, before the gig that we also played at Coffee by Debella last weekend, I actually practiced my set sort of. I'm not saying that I had exactly what I was going to play in line, but at least I knew that I was playing for something a little different than a main set in a nightclub. So I wanted to play music accordingly and make the flow accordingly. Of course, I made changes depending on watching the crowd over there and everything, but still, so I think practice is something which is very, very important.
Okay. All right, cool. So remixes faced criticism in the music industry.
Right.
How did you navigate and challenge these perceptions to establish remixes as a respected art form? Okay, oh wow, this is a remix from an album. This is also a proper different mix. It's not just a mockery of a song.
I think there's always people who are going to be cribbing about things. Like in today's day and age, there are so many people who crib about Polytech. Saying, what is this Polytech? Just that beat is going on, one bass line is there, and songs are coming and going. Or there is always a certain amount of listeners who are going to keep cribbing. There are a certain amount of listeners who are going to appreciate it and move ahead. I think if you know what you're doing is good, and if you're confident that your music is good and your work is good, I don't think you need to worry about that. And I've always been sort of a person who's been like a racehorse with blinders.
Yeah.
So let people say and do whatever they want.
Just continue.
I know what I want to do, and I'm going to do it in the right way. So I think it was just that if you're true to what you're doing in your art, then, but yes, you are right. There were remixes which actually spoiled the original song. But I think that's the thing, right? There's always good artists and bad artists. Like you will always have a Drake, but you'll also have another rapper who's going to be useless, who's going to be crap. So it's always like that. So you just have to be, the listener has to be open enough to listen to everything and decide what he or she likes.
Is there a difference between remixes and remakes? And if so, what is your opinion on the remakes that are currently happening in Bollywood?
According to me, I think there is no difference between them.
Yeah.
I think it is just the name that has been changed. So music directors and music producers feel that, oh, we are not remixing, we are remaking. But I, honestly speaking, don't find any difference in them, because you are taking an original song, you're molding the programming and the arrangement, you're making it a little bit more new age or however you want it, depending on your situation and what your brief is from the label, and you're redoing it and putting it out there. So I don't find any difference in them in both the terms. But people just feel that, oh, if you say remix, then oh shit, it's a DJ. But if you say remake, it could be a music director, you could be a music director. So so I mean, it's just, like I said, I don't think there's any difference in it, but it's good. As long as people are at least appreciating it and,
But the sudden boom of...
Oh, big time.
So do you think it's, is it that Bollywood is losing its originality touch, or do you think that, because like when you used to make mixes, they used to be very unique and rare. Not everybody was making mixes, and that too, you were called specifically to make mixes of songs, and they were being released at the same time. Current songs are just remaking what worked like 10 years back.
I think one of the biggest culprits, so to say, I don't know if it's a very strong word, but is the constant need for content. So I feel that because of that also, music labels, YouTube channel, you can't have nothing posted for 1 week or 1 day. You have to continuously have things coming up on your YouTube, on your social media. So I think that overflow of that need for content creation is one of the biggest reasons why the yesteryear's tracks have come back again, because I don't know if the music directors can churn out something as good as fast. Right? Because there are people who are doing original music and they are fantastic. Like if you see a A.R. Rahman, or you see a Pritam or Vishal Shekhar or anybody, they are doing original music and they are doing it really good. But how many movies would you hear their name in? 2 movies a year?
3, 4.
3, that's it. But the music labels need to keep putting things out. So then they keep pressurizing producers to keep doing things. And when the producer sometimes, I think that, reaches a threshold, they say, listen man, I'm going to take this old song and use this sample and start putting it out and doing it, right? So I think it's just that. I mean, even I'm saying internationally, if you look at David Guetta, he's made a remix of
Final Countdown, I'm Good Blue.
That's it. And right now, recently he did with Saregama a remake of Kaliyo Ka Chaman.
Achha.
Yeah. It's got J Balvin and who's the other artist, the rapper, I forgot. So the 3 of them got together and they literally used the Kaliyo Ka Chaman sample and made a whole new track, and Saregama released it, I think, about 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. It's pretty good, but I'm saying even international artists are doing that, because the need for constantly being seen and heard is content creation. And if you don't do that, then you're done. So that's why I think that's content creation is one of the culprits of why people are now doing anything and everything and putting it out, saying let's just release. Forget about what it is or how it is.
Good points. So over the years, how have you developed and maintained a signature sound that distinguishes your original music and remixes in a crowded music landscape? Because you've been in this business for about 20-25 years.
I don't think I've given it any attention per se, but I just try to do the best I can. And because I think in my earlier years of releasing tracks, people sort of identify that, look, if I don't even know if it's a sound. I think it's just that if Suketu has done it, we think it will be good. So
So quality over.
So
just
I
a
don't
signal.
think I've done anything in particularly, and I have a particular sound of my own or anything like that, because I've always tried to mold myself on what the genre is and how the world is progressing and how the youth is progressing to make music relevant to them. So I've not really tried that, because in my album R.D. Burman Reinvented, I actually have done a dubstep remix as well. I've done deep house mixes as well. I've done techno remixes as well and everything. And I've done mashups way before mashups came up in a movie called Prince, which had Vivek Oberoi. There were that time. I was sitting with Tips and I said, we want to do something different. And I told them, why don't we do one thing? You have so many songs. Why don't I put all your 7 songs together in one mashup and make it, something different with dialogues, good dialogues from the movie. And I think, according to me, that was probably the first time somebody actually did a mashup and released it. And then after that, mashups became a big thing, and now it's, like all over the place.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I think it's just, I've never done anything I won't call any sound my sound. I just think that I try to do good work, and that's about it. And if people like it, yeah.
So quality over everything.
Probably, yes, absolutely, yes.
So now moving on to something that is very important in the current times, AI.
Right.
So with AI generated music being more prevalent, do you see it as a tool that complements human creativity or a potential threat to traditional DJing and music production?
I think anything overdone is going to mess up things. When remixes also were overdone and too many DJs started doing it, remixes started becoming pretty much trash. So I think right now it's very good, because I think it's in the assisting stage, and I will not say that no, I'm close to it and I will never use it or whatever. No, in fact, just before you came in, I had another producer from a studio in the same industrial estate, and he was here and we were just having a chat, and I just showed him the AI which Logic Pro has incorporated to give you a startup for chord progressions and things like that, and then you can improvise on it and move ahead. So I'm not close to it. I definitely use it also, and I keep even reading about it a lot more. Yes, there is a time when maybe it could replace certain things, but I guess that's the way it is. Have you seen Terminator?
Yeah. So would you say DJing would be more probable to be replaced by AI and stuff?
I always feel that something live and something human has got its own charm. Till date, if I had to use the sessions player given to me in Logic Pro and use a session or a progression that the AI gives me, I would love it if my piano sir or a guitarist, like, they come here and they play it. I don't know, I just feel it's got a little bit more of a human touch, and maybe it's in my mind. Maybe it's not even true. But I feel that, I can still tell them to do certain things and improvise. Out there, I'm given a certain thing and then I have to improvise on my own. And if I'm not a guitarist, I maybe can't think in the way a guitarist would. But if a live guitarist comes and plays it, and if I explain something to him, he can mold it and make it, maybe even make it better. So yeah, so I think it's a very good thing that it's something nice, and I've accepted it. But is it going to be a threat or no? The way it's going, I don't. It looks like it.
No, because like to the average user who may not be from the music industry, who may just be listening to DJing, because that's mainly mixing. It has to be seamless transitions, which AI might just be able to do.
Yeah.
What about music production? How will they know that there's some human touch or there is?
Not at all. You will not come to know at all. I mean, genuinely, like the common man listening to a track and just enjoying himself or herself will never know if it's done by AI or not. I mean, that is. But then I think as technology comes and the world changes, you have to keep up to it. I mean, with the amount of apps and softwares, I mean, you can't even keep up to it anymore. Yeah. But yeah.
Alright, so what would you suggest to the upcoming generation of DJs in this space who might have to battle it out with AI? I mean, taking away their career options.
In my institute till date, and you being one of the students.
Yes, I was a student, by the way. Just finished the course recently.
Yeah. So we would not. We still hide the BPMs. We still teach you the traditional way of mixing, to develop your brain to understand a little bit more about beats, to develop your ears so you can differentiate which song is slower and faster and everything. Once you know that, you go out and play and do your thing, or you can use the quantize button, or you use the sync button, or whatever it is. There is no problem, because every tool is given to you
to utilize
and to be utilized and to get creative. So if your mixing is looked after, I'm sure you can be creative in other fields, like using effects or doing certain things or making a live mashup or something like that, which people can do now. Because before we had to work on the track, get it together, and then after that see if you want to mix it and make a live mashup. Now that thing is gone. So I think as long as you do something more than making your brain stagnant, saying that okay, this is the track is BPM is the same, mix it. If you do that, then I feel it's a bad thing. So I tell the younger generation, then you're wasting your time and your life. Don't do that. I mean, it's just going to mess you up. It's going to make you lazy.
Yeah.
But if you can use that bit which has been given to you as a gift, use it, but try to do something more
with it. All right.
And then I think you'll always be creative, because if you don't do that, then your brain will just stop working, and then creativity will just go. So that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, as we were talking about AI tools, how have you explored integrating them into your music production process, and if so, how has it impacted your workflow?
Well, I definitely do. I have definitely integrated AI into my workflow. In fact, the software which I use, Logic Pro, itself has an AI system built in it, which makes my work faster. And especially a plugin called Scaler, which I explored during 2021 during the COVID times, because I was doing a lot more music that time, because shows were all off, traveling was off, and we were just sitting more at home. So automatically you'll end up making more and more music. So because I'm not a professionally trained musician, I just can identify music, if it's good, bad, and if it's in key or not. It becomes a little difficult for me to keep playing the chords and everything, where the fingers are properly kept and whatever. So Scaler is a plugin, which is an AI plugin, which sort of not only just tells me the scale of the song or anything, but it even suggests me the chords which go in the song. So it makes it easier for me to just do a nice chord progression, or when I'm making a mix, it gives me the chord progression faster than anything else would give. So it's basically AI. What I use it for mainly is to speed up my workflow. Nothing else but speeding up my workflow. It's really fantastic. It's just so good. And I think even another thing is that when you're sometimes on a blank slate and your mind is blocked and you have that creative block, you don't know what to do, I use either Logic's AI or Splice's AI to just get me started. It gives you a starting point to begin something fresh and new, and then things just start flowing. So I think I used AI in these two ways for sure, and integrated it in my workflow. I hope it's where it stops and it doesn't go any further.
That's what I would wonder, when do you set the limit? Because suppose these are just helping you become faster and faster, wouldn't you just like to be fastest?
I think, what, if there is no pressure on something, I don't think I'll use AI at all. But the thing is, again, like I mentioned in one of, when we were speaking before, that, content creation and work is demanded so fast. Like even if a label tells me, ye gaane ka remix banana hai, they want a demo in 1 day or 2 days, and then they want to release it by, in the next week's time. So I think if the pressure of the content creation is not there, then I think I would probably not need to use AI. But yeah, because of all this stuff, because it speeds up work, is that thing. So I think maybe we should just tell,
people to
social media and everybody else to stop demanding content so quickly. So yeah, but I know that's something which can't be helped. Like I know even on my social media channel, my manager keeps telling me, man, we uploaded a mashup last week, we need to do another one this week. So I'm like, okay, fine, we'll do it. There's no problem. But I mean, do we have to give that much? Saying, no, the others are putting up a track every alternate day. So you need to, do at least once a week. So I think things like these are there, and that's why AI is there. It makes you, sort of helps you go faster. But if that wasn't the case, then I think I probably wouldn't be using it at all.
Oh, all right. Now moving on to creative process and collaborations. What draws you to a particular song for remixing?
Okay. I think as far as I can remember, every song that I have done well, or this remix has turned out really good, or the remix has become a hit, it's a song which I love, which I like, or which I love. The minute I have to do a remix of a track which I don't like, it becomes like a tedious process for me. It becomes like work. But if I'm remixing a song which I like or which I love, I think things just flow. So I think the first thing that I look into while selecting a song is that if I personally like that song or not. If I don't like that song, I will, if it's not required, I will not touch it and I will just let the song be. But sometimes it's a situation where I have to make a mix of a song because the song is becoming a big hit and I have to drop it at my gigs. And if I drop the original version, it might not be as good. So just to, be different from others, I have to make a mix of it. So yeah, I think my only criteria is nothing else, but if I love the song or I like the song, I'm good with it.
All right.
No problems.
Great.
Yeah.
So you have also worked with international artists like Flo Rida, Sean Kingston. How do cross-cultural collaborations influence your music style at the end of the day when you're making your own music?
So the good thing about all my collaborations with these artists was that they were making a remix specifically to target the Indian diaspora world around. So they were not looking at, this remix being something that if the international people, the crowd also likes it, it's great.
Yeah.
But for them, it was like they were looking at India becoming a massive market, and they wanted to appeal their tracks more to the Indian diaspora around the world. So that's why they said that, okay, fine, let's get a good Indian producer to make remixes of these tracks and then do it. So I think it wasn't very difficult because they left the creative control to me, because they knew that if he's making something for his people, he will know what works and what doesn't work. So I think in that way it was a very good thing. That of course we went back and forth on certain sounds that I use and certain portions of the songs which I had remixed, so we changed it. But all in all, I would say they gave me 85% creativity, and there was only that 15% of them being involved in it, because ultimately it was the artists and their management had to know that whatever was being released online or around had to be of that standard as well. It couldn't just be of good Indian standard, it had to be of good international standard, because it was going on the album. It wasn't just being released as a one-off. So yeah.
So would you say that after doing these collaborations, has it influenced the other music or the original music that you've been making?
Definitely the mixing, mastering and the sound selection process, yes, because I felt that sometimes I don't know where to stop putting sounds in my track.
Yeah.
But with these people, it became a little bit more simpler, because I think this is too much. I think you can remove this. It's not required. So I think in that way, definitely I did affect a lot of my music that came out after that. My tracks became a lot more simpler. My projects became a lot more smaller, but they were to the point and they did what it had to do and appeal to the listeners. So that was good. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're remixing a well-known track, how do you strike a balance between preserving its essence as the original track itself and also infusing your own style? Okay, look, this is my take on the same song.
Whenever I go to every stage of the remix, I don't finish the track. I call somebody from outside to listen to it.
Oh.
Somebody who is from that generation who has heard that track. So if I have done a Bin Tere Sanam or anything, or when I even was doing Wo Lamhe with Mohit Suri for his film Zahar, I called Mohit to listen to the track every time I feel I had done something good with it, because he had heard the track first, he loved it, and in no way did I want to spoil it. Same thing I do with most of my remixes, especially if the track is going to be a video track.
Yeah,
I'd either get my tune from the office to listen to it, because he's a common man, right? He's a common person who just puts on his headphones when he's in the train or when he's on the bus or when he's outside walking, listen to music. So I come and make him listen to it. I said, "Apne original suna hai?" He's saying, "Haan suna." I said, "Abhi ye suno kaisa hai?" And then he tells me it's good or bad or whatever. He tells me mereko samajh nahi aaya or whatever. So I think I like to call in people who are non-musicians to come and listen to my track at every particular stage that I've stopped working on it, to know that am I losing the original essence of the song, because if I do that, then it's all over. So I think that's one of the things which I always do. I keep, reaching out to my audiences in some way or the other to find out what's happening.
So what is your favorite remix that you've made, and what is one of your favorite remixes that somebody else has made?
So my favorite remix which I have made is my first track, Pyar Zindagi Hai, which was my first video track actually.
Yeah.
I think my programmer and me worked the hardest on that track, because it was already decided it was going to be the video track. And I think I spent so much time to make that mix, and it turned out just perfect. The track which I like, which somebody else has done and was one of my favorites, is DJ Akil's Keh Do Tumhe.
Ah yeah, so that's a good track.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Yeah, I think undoubtedly one of the best mixes I've heard ever. I mean, his Wada Karo and Wada Raha and everything is also very, very good. But that particular track, the way he mixed it was just so perfect.
If I'm not wrong, even you had done a remix of Keh Do Tumhe, right?
I was going to do it, but because he released it, I didn't do it. Then I pulled it out of my album.
Oh, okay. But you still have it like in one?
No, I didn't even start on it, because before, so it was supposed to be on my second album, The Bed Lounge. But the thing is that it came out with my first track. So Pyar Zindagi Hai and Keh Do Tumhe came out back to back.
Yeah.
So he had already done it before I even started work on my second album. I just had the track list ready.
Yeah.
So then I just said, listen, now this mix is so good. If I do anything to it, people are going to compare it to his mix, and his mix is so fantastic, and I don't think I'll be able to ever make it to that level.
Yeah.
So let's just scrap the track and do something totally different.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now advice for aspiring DJs like me.
Right.
Starting young, as someone who began the DJing journey early, what advice would you give to young DJs trying to make their mark today?
I think that don't go on for the fast road, because you'll always get a fast road, especially in your generation. Everything is coming up so fast from technology. Use technology, but don't become a slave to it. That's the only thing which I can tell them, because I know that if you have real talent, you'll go way beyond, or you'll use the technology in such a creative way. It'll be good. So
Just
I say
compliments your...
yeah, just be creative and just think in that direction, because I can't tell them, oh, practice, of course, definitely, no
Yeah.
doubt about it, but even to get creative you have to practice, because only if you practice well and you know your equipment well, you'll be able to be creative with it. Otherwise you
Not
can't do
possible.
anything. So I think the only thing which I can say is that don't become a slave to the technology. Have your own identity. If in case the technology is taken away from you someday, you can still perform, but use that also in a creative way when it's given to you. Don't just be, again, like I said, 130 BPM, 130 BPM, both done, release the track, press contest. So even if your release is wrong,
They'll
everything is
automatically
going to
sync,
go
yeah.
in time. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you'll become a machine. You won't be a creative person. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, now from like a third perspective, even because you've been here
Yes.
for long, when you look at young DJs, do you see a lot of people, or at least in like maybe the places where you perform, do you see them using all these features, or do you see them trying to do everything by the ear, or at least some of it?
I see very few people trying to do it with their ear. Everybody is using the technology. I mean, like, it is like when sometimes I've had certain students who come and say that I could have done this just by looking at this, then why did you cover the BPMs?
Yeah.
I said it's because you'll go further down in your passion for music and DJing than just doing that.
Yeah.
I said, now that you have this, your mind will think that what else new can I do? But if I told you right in the beginning that
Just
this
look at the
is it,
waveform
this
on the
is it,
screens
and
and yeah.
that's about it, then and now with AI softwares like DJ Studio and Mixed in Key,
Yeah.
you don't have to even plan your set. The AI actually gives you hundreds of combinations on how your set can
Yeah.
sound good. But again, like I said, I think the more you let your brain work, in the long run, it's not only good for you musically, but it's even good for you holistically, because if your brain shuts down and everything is going to be done with the machine,
What's
by
the
the
point of you
machine,
being
then
there?
this is not going to be, and then that's when the whole degeneration of the body it'll happen. So just try to keep yourself active by doing the basics really well,
Yeah.
and then after that go on to use the technology for creativity. Yep.
All right. So DJs who might be my age or older, who look at it as a career option and not as a moonlighting hobby,
Right.
especially in India,
Right.
would they find greater pay in playing weddings or following their own passion, original music, and going to clubs and releasing their own remixes?
So I think again this depends on the person. If your aim to use the profession is to make money, if you want to do that, then I'd say definitely do whatever comes your way and wherever the money is more. But if you're a person who has the privilege or the option of following your passion because you don't require that money right now, or your mind is not just going on money,
Yeah.
then I feel that you find your niche and you do that. We had a student, Karan Desai, who calls himself Folic State. He did his course with us in 2000. Actually, he did his course even before we started the institute.
Oh.
I mean, I just met him through a common relative, and he came to me to learn. That time I didn't even really have an institute as such. I was just like, okay, fine. He said, I know you, I want to learn. I said, come to my studio, and we gave him classes and just taught him. And he was fixed that he loved minimalistic techno, and that's what I want to do. And right now he's playing in Germany, countries in Europe. He's doing festivals like Sunburn, Supersonic, everything, and he's now filling up venues just by himself with the music that he loves. He had the option of doing that. He produces music. He's got his tracks releasing in international labels, so it's fantastic. And he's doing the opening act for some of the best DJs also, which come down to the country to perform, because he's stuck to what he wanted to do. So I wouldn't say that there's any right way. It just depends on your thinking. What do you want to do? If you want to make money fast and do whatever, then do Bollywood and do your weddings and do everything. But if you feel that your calling lies to techno or tech or Afro, then stick to it and pursue it in that direction if you have the option to do so, and do that.
Is there greater success in a single genre DJ, or is there greater success in a DJ who does the popular music, or somebody does his original stuff and like kind of does all genres? Or It's not fixated upon one genre.
I wouldn't say about the greater success, because you can get great success even by following your one particular genre of music.
Yeah.
But I can definitely say that it's faster success,
Yeah.
you know, if you do everything, because then your market automatically increases. Because if you know that you're only doing Afro, you've already broken down your market and you have those specific people already, you know, to play music for. So that's the thing. But I don't think there's any, I mean, people can become as big even in a particular genre, and people can become as big even, you know, in everything. But like I said, the speed of
how high you rise.
It's faster. That's it.
And if you were to say about success, is it mainly luck based or skill based in maybe India, just India?
I'd say anywhere in the world for anything, it is skill based and luck together. One can't
ratio or nothing.
I don't know about the ratio, but I could probably say that during my time when I began, there might have been 1,000 more DJs who might be as talented or more talented than me, but I happened to be there at that right time and I made it. So I wouldn't say that it's only talent, creativity and hard work. I think everybody has to know it, that yes, I mean, I'm sure there are people as smart as Elon Musk, but Elon Musk is where he is. So yeah, it's just
this is the right time, opportunity,
everything. Yeah, so and that only comes, I think, with with luck. So you keep trying and wait for that one moment, and the minute that moment hits, then everything else will just flow.
Cool. And for students who are coming to your classes, is there a greater market of people my age who are doing it as a hobby or playing for their friends, or is there a greater market of people who look at it as an actual career opportunity? Okay, you know what, I'm tired of, you know, working, so I don't want to follow what the degree that I'm doing, and I want to go back to DJing.
So I'd say that it's both of them are pretty high. We have a lot of people who come to do this as a hobby or as a stress buster. So that's like maybe about 40% of our students, but 60% of our students who join us are people who genuinely want to take this as a profession. Like they come here to learn the right way, to learn and do whatever it is they need to do to make sure that they know their equipment, they know their work, and they are, you know, they're good. This is what it is. There is nothing else. There is no ifs and buts, and there is no like, okay, if this doesn't work, I'll do this. It is only this. So 60% of the students are that, but 40% of my students are also like that in our institute, who come as, you know, for a hobby. And I'm talking about, we have radiologists, gynecologists, we have the MD of Honda India, we have doctors, we have a plastic surgeon who's coming here to, you know, learn. So I think, and they are coming here only. We have one person who owns a fantastically huge jewelry brand in Bombay City, who's coming and learning. And he's not coming and learning because of, you know, he wants to make it a career. For him, it's like literally, he said when he learned, he's saying that I want to, when I go back home in the evening, I just want to open my controller, put on my phones, have my small equipment at home in one room, and I just want to spin music. And for them, it's a stress buster. So the radiologist who came to learn with us, he was literally like, I'm at the clinic treating people all day. When I go back home, that 30 minutes mixing music, which I love, you know, and not wondering that, yeah, DJ kya baja raha hai or whatever, is the biggest stress buster that I've had. So I think people come for both. But yeah, the people who come to make it a career are much higher than the people who come for something like this.
And if there's like anything you could tell like people who are watching about how easy it is to get into even DJing or music production right now, because a lot of people, even people that I know, look at it as you know, hard to attain or unattainable thing. Like, okay, DJs are separate. Like, I do not know how they get there, but they have started DJing.
Right.
How easy is it now to just like start DJing?
I think one of the biggest amazing tools that is given to the younger generation is the internet. I think if you put yourself out there and if you're talented, you will be recognized. So in that way, definitely it is much easier, because you can showcase your talent to millions of people, you know, very quickly, easily. Unlike when we had to release a track and make a track and then get a music label and make demos, and then they sign you on, and then they release one album, and then they market that album, and then your name comes in the paper once or twice and everything like that. Right now, the world is your playground. So I think it has become definitely easier. But again, a lot of people who are not talented, also
find
become
harder.
they also become very
Oh,
big
okay,
and they are very
sorry,
good. But
yeah.
if you're talented, I'm sure that you will get recognized and you will get your opportunity.
What about costs for people who are just starting off? Maybe they might not be able to afford a course or something. So for them to start DJing, would you say getting a controller and stuff is?
I think it's very good because every company which is making all the equipment knows now that there are different income levels of
Yeah.
people. So they don't make, like back in the day, you used to get only these CD players and nothing else. Now in Pioneer itself, there are 15 models of players you can get, or controllers you can get, starting from 17 and a half, 20,000 all the way to 4 lakh rupees. So what depends on what you want to spend, but we are giving you the opportunity to go there and explore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the cost can be adjusted depending on this thing. Plus there are websites like bajao.com and everything which are there, which sell so much second-hand equipment as well. So it's really good to just even get onto one of those sites like OLX or anything also, and see, you might get some equipment which is second-hand, which is in good condition, and that can do your job. So yeah, I think it's pretty relatively simple for, even if you don't have a big budget to do. If you really want to do it, there is a way to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
So now, of course, it's a saturated market. So young DJs like me, should they develop a signature style? Like I have seen a lot of DJs, they have like a voiceover. They say, okay, this is DJ this, and then it starts. They start the set like that,
Right.
or every set incorporates like these 3 genres or something like that. So do you think that having a signature style is very important in this day and age because of social media, or do you think it's actually the opposite, where the more original you are and the more different, which is the same thing I mean to say?
No, I know, but you're saying just if doing whatever the herd is doing.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that you having your own style will 100% pay off.
Yeah.
Because again, I've noticed that in today's day and age, people are looking for something new constantly. They are always on the lookout. And this is not only, I'm talking about people who are like music labels and all that stuff. I'm talking about even the general audience. They're looking for something new to do. I was resisting myself to upload my mashups since years and doing, keeping it all to myself.
Yeah.
But the time is changing and I need to do that. So I have started doing that. So I think that if you have a signature style, it is fantastic. It's really good because then those people will identify you, and maybe that style is not saturated. So but again, I say that what is saturation?
Yeah.
There are 7 billion people on this earth. Our country itself has 1.4 billion people. If you have a style or if you're doing something good, you will have your market. I'm not saying all the 1.4 billion people party, but even if you take 1% of it, it's a huge market.
Yeah.
So it's the number of people which are there, and the to reach those people has become so much more easier. I think it doesn't matter what you do. If you're good, you will either ways make it out. I mean, you'll get there. You don't have to worry about having a signature style or no or something. If you do, like I said again, it makes it way better. It makes it simpler for you because you know which direction you're going in. Otherwise, you're all over the place and you're gambling.
Yeah.
Oh shit, lag gaya to lag gaya, nahi laga to phir, we'll see. So that way.
I mean, now even actually there's a huge boom in DJing, and that too in odd places and odd scenarios.
Absolutely.
Like I saw somebody doing it in a train, rickshaw. There was this guy called Pablo Datta. He played UK Garage in a village in West Bengal.
Yeah.
It went insane. So and the reach that gets.
Yeah.
So do you think you will now see a boom and it'll just start becoming like this thing where people do it like just random places? And
yeah, absolutely. I think that right now, because again, the music that people are playing is relatively similar.
Yeah.
Because those are the songs which work.
Yeah.
It's how differently and where differently can you play it is where the game is right now. So yeah, I think it will happen. I mean, it's already come to a village and a train. So I don't know what is next. I mean, coffee houses and salons were something which was there, and now it's it's yeah.
Is it almost as popular as important as the music that you're playing? Like people, do you think now when they look at the set, they're like, oh, ये रिक्शा में चला रहा है क्या? ये गाना अच्छा बजा रहा है. What is the thing that?
Unfortunately, I feel a lot of the people go more with
where it's being
difference. Yeah, the different venue or the whatever. And I feel somewhere on the line the music gets lost in it because you're just excited to see what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Than actually concentrate on the music. But I think there will be a time again where people will. I mean, you would see that once and twice, but then after that, the third time you will go to an artist who's playing good music.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you usually burn out and stuff.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So beyond the decks, when you're not actually mixing tracks, what genres or artists do you personally enjoy listening to? And any underground artists or DJs that you would like to share?
So I don't. I mean, I listen to practically all sorts of music because I like to know what's happening around the world, and
That's great,
like,
yeah.
like I said, I'm always trying to learn. Till date, also, I still go onto YouTube to learn something if I can't figure out something, in my work also, or a particular feature. Like even when I bought a new car, there was this one thing of how to wash the headlights, and I didn't know how to do it. But apparently the button was there, and
Yeah.
I think the person had already showed me how to do it. But I was like, I don't know. Maybe I got lost somewhere. Just went on to YouTube and check it out, and now my headlights in the car are super clean. So I always like to learn.
Yeah.
So even when I'm not doing what I'm doing in terms of the for my marketing or whatever, I think I'm always exploring new artists. I'm always exploring new music. So I wouldn't say that I have anything particular favorite or something. I just say, oh, listen to this guy. He's really good or she's really good. I just think that if it's good music,
It just works.
and then if I like a particular track, I'll explore that artist a little bit more to see what else he or she has done. But yeah, nothing that I would just like to say, oh yeah, you gotta listen to this guy, he's too good, man, or listen to this girl, she's damn good, or whatever. Nothing like that. Yeah.
What do you think about the current booming hip hop scene in India? The Desi hip hop scene where
Yeah, it's good. I'm not a very big, huge fan
Fan
of hip hop,
yeah.
but yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, it's good to know that artists are being recognized internationally from India,
Yeah.
other than the mainstream Bollywood, non-Bollywood, which is I think was the biggest breakthrough. That because if you're non-Bollywood and you're getting recognized, it's fabulous.
Do you see popular music being transitioned from Bollywood movies and songs into just generally independent artists who are just producing music and selling
But I
it?
think it is already happening because if you see people like Hanuman Kind and everything,
Yeah.
these guys have no Bollywood backing at all, nothing at all. They're just making good
Music.
tracks in their genre which they excel in, and they are being recognized and they're doing good. And I think that's there everywhere. So it's even DJs in India sometimes who are not playing mainstream Bollywood music but are getting recognized really, really well because they've stuck to their genre and they're genuinely very good. It's not only that they've stuck to their genre, but they're really good. So yeah, definitely, I think that. But I think it's about time, right? Because if everything, of course, there's nothing bigger than Bollywood, and I love Bollywood myself. But if everything is going to be related and become big only with Bollywood,
yeah,
then what happens to the rest of the market?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy that because of internet and because of streaming sites and because of aggregators, independent artists are coming up and really doing well. So it's good.
All right. So looking back, do you think you would have been an equally or even greater tabla player?
I think I would have become fantastic, genuinely.
Is it?
I genuinely think I would have been really good if I wasn't bitten by the DJing bug. But I think I would probably be doing, concerts and orchestras and everything like that, and maybe playing the tabla with A.R. Rahman with his whole troupe in one of his concert, or with Arijit Singh or something like that as well. Or maybe I would have become a solo tabla player as well, like a Zakir Hussain or something. I don't know. So yeah.
Do you ever try to incorporate tabla into like your remixes and stuff?
So in the beginning, I did really try that, but then after a while, I just thought that let's just move ahead because it's taking a little bit of time as well. So, yes, but yeah, I wish I could still do that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still play the tabla, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely I can. In fact, one of the places where I utilized the tabla was on one of the remixes I did for Flowrider. Good Feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, the track Good Feeling of his, which I mixed. I actually used the tabla in that, and the tabla which was played by me only.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yes.
Do we see like a tabla scratching type of thing that's going on and stuff?
Yeah, I know. I can even imagine with the way things are going, anything is possible.
Yeah, honestly, it's like those multi-instrument player.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the last question, what would your dream collaboration be? In terms of like anything that now you've been seeing, you're like, this guy is like hot stuff. I need to or maybe I want to work with him or her or anybody actually.
I think I think I would love to collaborate with Diljit, not because he's really big right now only, but I just think that he's damn good and he's open to doing something different which nobody's done. So I think and I think he's super talented. He doesn't have a closed mind कि नहीं मुझे यही करना है कि वही करना है. I think he's like, if you have something new, let me listen to it, let me check it out, and then if it's good, then I really don't mind working. Like even the producers which he's working with, they're all at one point in time who have been struggling to get there, and then with Diljit they got a chance to actually shine. So yeah.
I think overall Punjabi music industry is like really booming.
Massive.
And the producers they've gotten like Boy Wonder, they've gotten Benny X, They've got like really big
really
producers.
superb, absolutely.
Wazir and all those people like insane.
All fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like fantastic producers. Love it. So that's the thing that that it's good that because of the internet, things are coming up again. Otherwise, you would never hear about these guys.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that was it for the interview. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first of many. So see you guys soon.
And stay tuned to Kabir's podcasts and his interviews. I'm sure they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
He didn't ask me any question which normally he would have asked me about how you started and what you did and everything. So that's good.